With things aquatic, what do you call a fish with no eyes?
Don't know. Oh, that's really silly, that. All right. What do cats prefer for breakfast?
I don't know. What do cats prefer for breakfast?
Mice Krispies.
Don't laugh at yours. What do you get if you put 4 ducks? I should say that last one came in from Kelly Stevenson, who lives in Milton Keynes. Debbie Francis, who lives in Rochester in Kent, asks, what do you get if you put 4 ducks in a box?
A lot of ducks.
A box of quackers. You dropped something, boy. No, this could well be the new great craze of 1989, and it's called a Diablo, and Stuart Fell and Sarah Scobling are the experts. Hello, guys. Let's just see what you can do with one of these things. I know they're Chinese originally.
That's cat's cradle.
Very good.
It's over the foot. This is round the world and back again.
How old are these things?
Well, the Chinese have been developing a whistling...
Sorry about that.
The Chinese have been developing them for 2,000 years, and they've been making them whistle.
Really?
But before the Chinese, the Mongolians, they used to have a similar toy, and they used to play it with whips, and it used to look something like that.
I tried to do the one over the foot, Tommy, but I...
Go on, do it again.
That's what happened when it went flying.
Stuart and Sarah have been showing us how you do it, and it's not all that difficult. No.
That's the...
Very good.
Look, I can't get mine going.
Whilst you're all Diabloing, Stuart, perhaps you can tell us about some of the old Diablos that you've brought in. This one
Right,
here, for
well, that
example.
is the oldest I have. That's 150 years old,
Yeah.
Victorian one.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, you see, it's quite finely... it was an aristocratic toy, really, made like that. And the trouble with them is that they used to hit the cobblestones, roll into the road, and the child would run into the road and get knocked over by a horse bus or something, so they became known as a mischief toy.
Right, and this one here, this could always be dangerous.
Even heavier. Oh. Well,
You're going to do it?
This is one of the earliest ones, about 200 years old. It's actually a copy of this, but it's very similar. But, oh, if that landed on your toe, you really would get into trouble.
Are you all right, Gran? Yes, exactly. Exactly. You have to be careful. Let's see some more tricks. Come on.
Well, I'll show you the advantage of this one. You throw it up and it just whooshes like a beanbag, so it's really safe now.
Safe. Safe toy.
Oh,
Anyway, Sarah, you throw yours up and I'll catch. We'll play a little bit of tennis, shall we?
Right.
Excellent.
Now, Stuart's actually brought in a proper tennis Diablo. Is that right?
That's the one. That's about 1906.
And they used to string a net out, and
Yes.
instead of a tennis racket and a ball.
Absolutely.
Could you do that with the sort of modern ones?
Well, you could play a sort of tennis with this, but it'd be a bit shorter because basically that didn't really catch one because it's very, very much more difficult to catch that very small Diablo. Oh. And they used to play it on a normal tennis court. But this is more of a beach game. You could throw it to each other and you could literally catch it like this, and I could throw it back to you like this and you catch it on the string. And it's more suitable for the way people want to play a simple game of tennis. Hey! That's excellent. That's a pirouette. That is really a mega wow trick. You're not supposed to be on there yet.
It's much more fun than yo-yoing, isn't it?
Oh, that's nice of you to say so. You're doing quite well, really.
How am I doing?
You hold the stick a little closer.
Yes.
And jerk that up and down. Do you do your own stunts?
Oh, all the time.
And she does
open
her
the stick
own
like that
lying
and
as
throw them
well.
up around so you can miss it.
Oh,
yes, I'm very good at missing it. Thank you.
That's right. Don't make it look too easy.
I think it's just worth me mentioning that we thought it would be a good idea to see these ancient Chinese toys because, of course, this week the Chinese are celebrating their New Year at the moment. So I forget how to say Happy New Year in Chinese. We'll do it a little bit later on. Well, the toy of tomorrow, the toy of today and the toy of yesterday. Thank you very much indeed, you two.
That's very
well
kind
done.
of you.
Keep Diabloing. It's a very old invention, but we're now about to find out about some more modern inventions in today's heroes and heroines, villains and villainesses.
Heroes and heroines, villains and villainesses.
Ladies and gentlemen, quiet please. May I welcome you all to Menlo Park, home of the great genius Thomas Alva Edison, known not just in New York, but throughout the world as the inventor of the future. You have only to think of the ticker tape machine, the dictaphone, or the telephone, and you'll see that Al Edison played his part in inventing them. Today, we are about to witness history in the making as Mr. Edison demonstrates his two latest inventions.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for that introduction, Henry. You know, ladies and gentlemen, this man here is Henry Ford, my chief engineer, and he's a bit of an inventor himself. At the moment, he's working on some travel machine that kind of moves on its own, holds you up for hours while it crawls at a snail's pace behind lots of others with black fumes blowing in the air. That's what we need.
That's true, sir. I'm working on the motor car at the moment.
A motorized machine without horses pulling it. It'll never work. How far you got, Ford?
Well, about 800 yards, sir.
Very good.
Well, not really, sir. I parked it at the top of a hill with a break-off, and, now it's in the Hudson River. But I'm working on the submarine now.
Submarine. Very good. Well done, Henry.
Can I help you with this experiment, sir?
Of course you can, my boy. You can be my Ford escort. First, we need the light bulb. Now, for my first invention, I will show you how to make this object light up and stay on for hours and hours. Here we go. There we go. Yeah. Well, while it's warming up, I'll show you how to produce sound out of this object. Yeah. Perhaps if we try it the other way around. No, that doesn't seem to be right. I know. Hold on a minute. Right here. And... Yeah. I should have tried it like that years ago.
Well done, sir.
Now I will demonstrate how this other machine works. I call this my phonograph. And from it you will soon hear the first ever recorded sound. I will recite a well-known nursery rhyme to the machine, and it will repeat it. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Oh, no, Ford! That dreadful noise! This machine is too dangerous for mankind. It must be modified.
Well, I see what you mean, sir. But since you've invented electricity, what you really need is a little light music.
Well done, Henry. In other words, congratulations.
Congratulations and celebrations.
Oh, you're nothing but a ventriloquist.
A ventriloquist? Oh, no, I'm not.
You should be locked up for trying to fool us with your tricks.
So you don't believe me, eh? Well, what's your name, madam?
Tina, from the New York Times.
Well, Tina, meet Henry Ford.
Whoa, Tina.
Ford? Cortina? I'm not supposed to be inventing that, am I?
That sound machine is rubbish. I don't know who you think you are, but...
Well, I'll tell you who I am. I'm Thomas Alva Edison, but, you can call me Al.
Call me out, call me out. So you don't believe that this machine can talk by itself? You are doubting the great Al Edison.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest load of junk I've ever seen in New York.
New York, New York.
Well, now that you've invented both the phonograph and the electric light bulb, if you played both together, you could have invented the first disco.
Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go.
don't think discos will ever catch on.
I think it would be a hit.
Somebody should do that. You should do that again.
I should do a cover version
You should do a cover version of it, yes.
Bopping away at the disco.
1989 mix.
Go on, do that again. Do that again. Woo! He's such a groovy mover.
Get on with it.
Now I want to see more dancing. All right. Hastings. You know that where that is, don't you?
Yes.
This is the Squirrel Club. And it says, I'm writing to tell you about my pet squirrel called Sally. She lives in the wild, but she comes to our house where we feed her. She is 7 years old. She has had many litters of babies, and I've named them all. Sally will take food from your hand, and also she'll come indoors. When Sally's hungry, we always know, because she taps on the window to let us know. I've sent you a photo of Sally and myself. What a lovely story. Isn't that nice?
Hastings, what a lovely place.
The Squirrel
What a
Club.
lovely radio station. There we are.
Okay. Devon, a bit further down there. All right, Plymouth. Our club is called the Nutty Club. We usually meet every time our mum or dad has someone for dinner because me and my brother, my brother and sister actually. My name is Alice, my brother's name is Giles. They want a blue, red, white or pink flag.
They have a blue,
I
red,
wonder
white
why
or
they
pink
called
flag.
themselves Nutty though.
Because the last club were Squirrel Club.
Squirrels.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Is that why?
Mm-hmm.
You reckon? All right, Berwickshire in Scotland now. My name is Donato de Grosser. Yeah, very Scottish. My friends and I have got a club called Eyemouth Boys. We play six-a-side football matches against other Eyemouth teams. Eyemouth is the place, by the way, before you think up some amazing reason why they've called themselves the Eyemouth Club. The club consists of Stephen, Philip, David, Keith, Mark, and John, and me, Donato.
There we go. And before Mr. Eric McDougall writes in again and points out that Berwick is in fact in England, we know that. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. McDougall. And we've got a flag there in Eyemouth, which is indeed in Berwickshire, part of the borders. There we are. Geography lesson over.
Thank you very much. Okay, keep sending them in. We'll give you the address at the end of the programme. As I say every time, Northern Ireland and Scotland, come on. You're not doing badly this week. Let's need some more. Right, remember our brilliant bird drawing competition we ran with the Young and Ornithologist Club? Well, the other week we took 4 winners out with Bill Oddie to go bird spotting. Have a look and see what they go up to. Good bit of bird spotting.
It's almost like a zoo, you know, they're tame birds, they're brought, right. We're going to have a feeding fire in Regent's Park. Somebody's just put down a bunch of crumbs. People come here all the time to feed the birds. See, it won't last long.
Hi, and believe it or not, it is International Birdwatch Day today, which is why we are out bird watching in the middle of London, in the middle of Regent's Park, where it's absolutely pouring down. And I have with me our 4 winners from the Designer Garden Bird Competition who wish they'd never entered because they're now getting soaking wet out here. Who we got? Let's go along the line now. Who we got?
I'm Glenn and I did an anti-moggy
The
harriet.
Anti-Moggy Harriet, right? We have here
Donna and I did a pilly parrot.
a Pelly That's right, that was a great book full. You wrote a tome. That's what that's a whacking great book on the parrot. That's smashing. And you are?
Andrew Smith.
And your bird what?
Mobile dustbin bin.
You had trouble remembering that. Mobile dustbin, it's hard to say. Mobile dustbin bin bird, right? And finally, Nicola, is that right? Yeah.
And I done a cockatoo.
Now, although we're in a park in the middle of London, and there's a lot of tame birds here, this is true, which have been brought here, sort of open zoo in a way, there are a lot of wild birds which also come into the park because the conditions are so nice here and people feed them. And we're going to have a look at some of those wild birds in a minute. But, first of all, before we do that, and just so we get even wetter, if you've got any questions for me, let's have them now.
What is
International
International Birdwatching Day?
Birdwatching Day. Well, that's an attempt to get everybody right across the world going out, enjoying birds, maybe for the first time. Because although birdwatching is a very popular hobby in England and in Britain in general, and in some North European countries and in America, there's a lot of countries where I'm afraid people aren't terribly kind to the birds. There's a lot more shooting and hunting and killing of the birds than actually enjoying them. And a lot of these birds are birds which are passing through those countries, coming up to Britain to lay their eggs and nest. And so in a sense, I'm afraid it's our birds that are getting killed in other parts of the world. And so this is an attempt to get bird watchers in all countries, all over the place, to encourage other people to come out and show them that it's much more fun to watch birds than to destroy them, really.
Have you got any useful tips for people who want to begin bird watching?
Useful tips, yeah. Well, there's any amount. I mean, I could go on for ages, but I think the one thing I would say is these days there's a big move towards chasing rare birds all the time, you know, and so people are constantly saying, I must see something rare, I must see something rare. And I think my tip would be, start off with the common birds. Just watch birds in your garden, in your local park, and keep going back to that place, keeping a record of it and seeing how the birds change throughout the year. And take your time, you know, if you want to get onto chasing rarities, you've got a whole lifetime to do that, and it'll last a lifetime, that's fine, but start off little, you know, that's my tip.
Well, I can't see any of them, Tommy.
Yes, look, there.
Where?
The greater wading camera one with the light on. There, there it is. I can see what's coming up in a little while, I can tell you, though. I'll be finding out about the hole in the ozone layer.
Oh, I think I can see it. Tommy!
Yes, look,
Yeah.
take it easy. Look,
Oh,
there it is.
oh, right.
That's the problem. And I can see Jimmy Mackay, who's looking at snakes this week. It'd be nice to hear you singing along, wouldn't it? What are we?
Fairy tales are lovely birds with tails so long and bright. Comb and style their silky hair so it sparkles in the light. Fairy tales.
Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. What Roger is trying to say is that free inside every special Shreddies pack is a Roger Rabbit mystery comic. Solve the puzzle in the competition, and you could win a smashing trip to Walt Disney World for you and all your family. There are 4 mystery comics to collect, free in every special Shreddies pack.
Mask, where illusion is the ultimate weapon.
Pull over, bandit. Bulldoze, prepare to assist. I'm being chased by iguana. I'm coming in. Surrender, bandit, or feel my blade. Engage hover mode. We're going fishing.
Mask, where illusion is the ultimate weapon.
Everyone's reaching for the stars, clamouring for fan club addresses, clutching at star profiles. Now the fan sticker collection lets you get hold of all your faves with over 200 stickers to collect and swap. To get you going, there's a Lush album and 5 stickers free in this week's Jackie and Hyde. Reach for the stars!
New Transformers are here! Protect the Transformers! Pretenders hide! Transformers inside! They split apart to reveal a powerful robot, then reassemble to fight with their Transformers! And watch out for Pretender Beasts! Pretender Transformers! They've got the power to surprise!
Alva's just lost $750 million.
This was back when 750 million was considered a lot of money.
She married the king and became the most envied woman on earth, the sensational Priscilla Presley. Next week, in a series of revealing interviews with Mike Morris, she talks to TVAM about the real Elvis.
I didn't know him, you know, as the image. I only knew him as the man.
The legend.
I don't think he deserves what's been written about him.
Why Dallas became her biggest challenge.
I was shaking in my shoes.
And her new career as America's hottest comedy actress. Make a date with the stars at 8:20 every morning on TVAM.
In the Way of the World this week, we thought we'd answer some of your questions about the ozone layer. A lot of scientists are very worried about it, and politicians say they're doing their best to save it. But what is the ozone layer, and why is it so important? Well, the ozone layer is a special band around the world which stops harmful rays from the sun getting into the Earth's atmosphere. And the reason everyone's so worried is that pollution is slowly making the band thinner. That means some of the rays are getting through, damaging nature. In fact, the problem's so serious that 200 scientists from all over the world have got together in Norway to study an actual hole in the ozone layer to try and work out how long it's been there. The damage is caused by chemicals called chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs for short. They're used in production of lots of packaging and in aerosol cans. Many companies have already banned them, and shops sell their products as CFC-free. Industry is also producing too much of the gas carbon dioxide, causing a change in the world's climate called the greenhouse effect. Plants need carbon dioxide to breathe, but scientists reckon if there's too much, global temperatures could rise by 5 degrees centigrade. That could mean that ice in the Arctic would start melting, and countries that already have sweltering summers would get even hotter. In Australia, a few weeks ago, the temperature reached a record 140 degrees. Other experts believe the changing climate will lead to more natural disasters like the terrible floods in Bangladesh and the devastating storms like Hurricane Gilbert, which roared across countries like Jamaica and Mexico last year. But the weather in Britain isn't likely to undergo such a dramatic change. Our temperatures don't vary enough, but it could mean that we'd end up with practically the same weather the whole year round. Remember, if there's anything you want to know more about, write in and ask. Put at the top of the letter, The Way of the World, and we'll give you the address at the end of the show.
Well, if we're going to have the same weather all year round, I hope it's hot. It'd be miserable if it was cold and rainy, wouldn't it? Anyway, the Chinese, they get good weather, don't they? But their New Year has been going on all this week, and for the Chinese, this is the start of the Year of the Snake. So we sent Jimmy off to find out about those slithery creatures, which are actually a lot nicer than an awful lot of people think.
This week we've been doing some work about the Chinese New Year and the Year of the Snake. We've all written some lovely poems. We'd like to listen to Lorraine and Rosha reading theirs.
The Snake by Lorraine Lee. The snake slithers and slides along the slippery road. With hissed and sitting sounds, he takes a mighty pound. The snake is sloppy and floppy. He is a sneaky little guy with dry skin. That little sly fellow says hi. The Snake by Rosha Hughes. The snake slithers and slides along the ground. It travels at slow speed, and when it finds its culprit, the snake is given his feed. The snake is sloppy and floppy and dry, but why does he bite so hard? Oh why, oh why, oh why?
Okay, you've been talking about the Year of the Snake, and I brought in a snake for you to have a look at. This is Monty, and Monty is a python, a reticulated python.
Where did you get the snake from?
Well, this snake actually comes from Burma, and it wasn't quite as big as this when he was bought. He doesn't belong to me, he belongs to someone I know.
How old is he?
How old is he? He's about 9 or 10 years old. And they live a long time, and they will grow a lot bigger than he is now. 10 meters is the biggest that this kind of snake grows. That's the biggest snake in the world.
What does he eat?
What does he eat? Well, this one, as I say, is only a little baby yet, so he eats things like dead rats and perhaps a chicken. And that's in one piece, because he can't use a knife and fork like we do, and he's not got the kind of teeth that can cut it up, so he has to swallow it in one go. But when they're fully grown, when they're 10 meters long, they eat things a little bit bigger than that. They'll eat antelope, animals that are bigger than your dog at home, bigger than sheep.
How long is Monty?
How long is he? Well, that's a good question. He's about 3.5 meters long. But I think really what we ought to do is to uncoil him and just look and see how long that really is. I think I'll use your teacher to help me here. Can you just come in and hold this end for me, please? You hold that end. Can you stand up and hold that bit there? You got him? That's it. Somebody else stand up. You stand up and hold that bit there. And I will move all the way over here. There we go. Can you hold that bit there? There we are.
Why did I call this the Year of the Snake?
Right, well, snakes are very nervous, very peaceful animals. They don't run around looking for people to bite or people to kill. They do go out to fetch food, of course, but the rest of the time they will curl up under a tree somewhere and keep very much to themselves. We've got snakes in this country, grass snakes, but I don't think anyone here will perhaps have seen one in the wild. Because when you go walking out with your big heavy feet, snakes hear you coming, and they go away and they hide, because they're nice and peaceful.
on the theme of the Chinese New Year. This is Rosalind and Richard Chin, and they're going to perform a ribbon dance, which is traditionally for the Chinese New Year. So off you go. Well done, absolutely super. Do you want to come forward a little bit? That's a really smashing dance, isn't it? Does it mean anything?
I'm not sure, but in the court dances, they used to have long sleeves and they used to try and protect the king.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's what the ribbon dance is from?
I think so.
Now, obviously the Chinese New Year comes at a slightly different time to our New Year. Do you know why?
Yes, because we use a lunar calendar and you use a solar calendar. So our dates will fall on different days from yours.
And why is it the year of the snake this year?
Well, there are lots of different stories. One of the stories is that Buddha was going up to heaven and he wanted all the animals to visit him before he went. So he asked all the animals to come, but only 12 came in order of the rat, the tiger, and the ox, the tiger. And so he decided to award them a year each for being so diligent, and that's how it came to be like that.
So what are we in now? The snake, and what was last year?
No, we're in the dragon now.
Right.
But, no, we're in the snake now.
Snake now.
But
The
last
dragon
year...
was last week?
Yeah.
Right, great. How long does the actual celebrations go on for?
5 days.
Right, and is it all sort of things like this, ribbon dances and all sorts of traditional dances?
Yes.
It was great fun. Do you want to give us a little twirl in your outfit? Absolutely smashing. Thanks very much. Now, do either of you know how to say Happy New Year in Chinese? Go on then.
Gongxi Fatai.
Gongxi Fatai. So, Gongxi Fatai to all our Chinese viewers.
It's great to see Chinese youngsters who don't only dance a lot better than I could ever do, but also appear to speak better English than I could ever do. Well done. We've been here since 7:30, you know, enjoying all sorts of brilliant things like those Chinese dancers. And there's loads more to come. Take a look. Timmy's off to the New Forest. Well, it's not so new, actually. It's quite old. He'll explain all in his own mallet way. Just what is going to happen to the Bionic 6? It's the nail-biting conclusion to our breathtaking story, Bionics On! Big Bamboo? No, it's new group Big Bamboo. They're coming in with their great new video, Shooting From My Heart. I've got a funny feeling we're in for a light joke here, but, well, we'll try anyway. Michaela, why have you brought a plug
Because you
onto
said
the show?
you wanted to do a plug. Oh, no.
What should we say, 6 out of 10? No, that's right. We wanted to find out if there's anything you want to write to us about.
So this
on
is
the
the
show.
plug. Now, listen, if you are talented, which I'm sure you are, then write in and tell us. We want all sorts of talented young performers, musicians, dancers, singers, anything like that.
And then there's me. You can ask Carol about absolutely anything to do with a wonderful world of science. Any scientific or engineering problems you want solved, just ask.
It's also great if you write in with your views and thoughts for Postbag or your latest rib-tickling joke.
Jimmy loves to hear your questions about animals.
Yes, and don't forget you can go bop, 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 bing in the bathroom.
That you can do. The address to write it to for all of these things is Wide Awake TVAM, PO Box 200, London, NW1 8TQ. Now it's time for someone else who's always welcome here at the Wide Awake Club. It's Casper the Friendly Ghost. And here he is in today's episode, which is called Cage Fright.
I'd love to be friends with them. Gee, I don't want to scare people. I'm going to see if I can find me a friend. My name is Casper. Do you... hello. My name is... Here you are. Ella and baby Alfred. Oh, you're Alfred. Golly, he wants to play with me. Shh, your mother's asleep. Maybe we better play outside. Come on, Alfred. We'll go to the playground. Alfred! Easy does it. Come on, Alfred, this is fun.